With a star seemingly set to make the move to WWE and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Paying tribute to the late Bray Wyatt, former WWE ring announcer JoJo Offerman wrote this on Instagram. It's been 1 year, 365 days without you. 1 year since I last heard your voice, since I last heard your laugh, since I last kissed your living soul. I still remember the last thing you told me. I still remember the last kiss and the last I love you we had before you closed your eyes. I'll remember that day forever, the day my entire life changed. I miss you terribly, Wyndham. The kids miss you terribly. There's not a day that goes by without you on our mind, but I think I'm getting used to the fact that I'll never quite be okay. I'll never quite be the same. I'll forever be missing the piece of me that left with you the day you died, and that's okay. I know how proud you are of the kids. Every day they're more and more like you. I'll forever be thankful to you for making me a mommy. I'll forever be grateful for the love I was able to experience with you. Today is a reminder of the worst day of my life, but also a reminder to never take anything for granted. Today, like every day, I remember you, Wyndham, and all that you were. We miss you and we love you, and life will never be the same without you. I love you forever. Recalling a showdown against Bray Wyatt in the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, LA Knight noted this at Fanatics Live. Well, look, you can't see half of anything. Yes, some things were glowing in there, which gives you, I guess, a little bit of a heads up, if you will. A little bit of a visual, but for the most part, things were coming at you from nowhere. So, very difficult. Obviously, not a great match for me, not a great night for me, but onward and upward. Talking about how he became world champion WWE, Bryan Danielson said this to TMZ. Even in WWE, when I won the world championship at WrestleMania 30, I wasn't their guy. They still had plans like, okay, we really want to transition to Roman Reigns being the guy. Vince McMahon legitimately sat me down and told me that. It was really funny because the conversation was like, okay, so we have these great plans. This is like a week after I had won the title or whatever, and we've got these big plans. We'll have a couple of title defenses for you between now and SummerSlam, but at SummerSlam you'll wrestle Brock Lesnar and he'll destroy you. Then we'll build up Brock Lesnar for Roman Reigns, and Roman will be the next John Cena. He's telling this to me and I'm like, that's great, but I would kind of like to be the next John Cena. I remember seeing the look on Vince's face where he was just like, oh, I didn't think you even saw that as a possibility for yourself. It was really funny. Then this is the only time Vince has ever backtracked with me. He said, well, nobody can really be the next John Cena, you know? It's like, you know, but in his mind, I wasn't the guy. I was just the guy they needed at that particular point because the fans wouldn't have wanted it any other way. In a surprise appearance, AEW star Saraya showed up at the recent Rev Pro event.
Revolution Pro Wrestling for a long while. Hang on a minute! It's Saraya! And you know what they say? A family that fights together survives together!
Asked about Bryan Danielson possibly retiring at AEW All In, Brie Bella said this on AEW Close-Up with Renee Paquette. I fell in love with him 12 years ago because of his passion and determination and love for wrestling. It was so nice to be with someone who, you know this business, it's like we speak a different language. We get excited about things nobody else understands. We'll sit in bed and have so many ideas about how to change a storyline or whatever it may be. That's when I look at him and I'm like, I know your love, I know your passion, and I will never take that away. I know the kids will never want to take it away. That's why tonight I'm just like, I don't know which way I'll be cheering. Yes, I know I've always wanted my husband to be home more, but at the same time, I've been with him and all we've ever known together is wrestling, and I don't know if I want to see that end for him. Brie also said, one thing I told Bryan that we all flew out here because we are not hoping it's your last match. I mean, we all know your journey is coming to an end, but doesn't have to come to an end tonight, so go out there, fight hard, because I think it would be pretty badass for your kids to see you become a champion, but I know your heart will lead you, and it will tonight. There is no doubt in mind that Bryan is going to walk out a champion. At the GCW Homecoming event, JBL would show up to deliver a clothesline.
What is he doing here? John Layfield with one punch takes down Effie. Clothesline from hell. John Layfield here in game.
With fans in London, Mercedes Moné could be seen filming a TikTok.
Yeah, what? Alright, we're gonna do the Kalani dance, guys. You're gonna hear it, it's gonna go, I like the way your body works. Yes, is that too obvious? And I want you to rotate around, okay? Yes! Yes! 3, 2, 1.
So good. 2, 1.
Helping Drew McIntyre in stopping fans from taking part in the CM Punk chants at an event, Jey Uso could be seen with the Scottish Warrior in these clips.
These people will stop chanting CM Punk if you yeet with me.
Going over how WWE decided to not have a second all-women's event, Ronda Rousey noted on Ring the Bell. Well, they offered to bring it back for a second time. They said, Ronda, if you stay after WrestleMania, we'll have another Evolution in 6 weeks and have you and Becky as a singles. And I was like, I promised my family. I was always saying, oh, I want to go from WrestleMania until Survivor Series, and then Triple H convinced me to stay from WrestleMania to WrestleMania. And I promised my family, like, that's it. I got kids and a husband and a home, and this is like I'm gone for weeks on end. And so when they said that, I was like, no. I've already asked too much of my family. I can't ask any more of them. I promised them this. I promised you I would stay this long, and I promised them I would only stay this long, and I'm not going to keep moving the goalpost. And then I ended up shattering my knuckle anyway, which I got an extra little nug now, so I wouldn't have been able to do it regardless. But yeah, they tried to dangle that carrot for me, but I couldn't. Hopefully they'll bring it back. I don't think that they need me for it. I think that they've passed that point. They just need to believe in the women because they can do it and know that that event was incredible and it sold out the venue, and I feel like there should be more, but no one's asking me. Then they come back and they're like, yeah, we get to it. Never mind. And I was like, we're going to go tag with Shayna Baszler or I want to leave. And then that's the only time I got to do my own booking. Ahead of her move to WWE NXT, Marigold star Giulia would bid farewell to Japan.
Championship was brought in as a bit of a joke, as a bit of an insult back in the ECW days and to AEW a few years ago during the pandemic.
It wasn't brought in as a joke or an insult. I brought it in as a really important part of the company. It wasn't supposed to be a joke or an insult.
Oh, I say apologies, Tony. I thought it was brought in by Taz. But I was going to say, is it now? Because it was considered...
It wasn't. He didn't bring it in as a joke or an insult at all, though. He brought it in to represent somebody who was the top pushed heel against the strongest booked, best wrestler in the world at the time, which was Jon Moxley. And then Jon Moxley's top challenger was Brian Cage. And Brian Cage came in as the FTW champion and said, I'm the FTW champion. And then we built up to Brian Cage. Brian Cage won the casino ladder match, and he was that FTW champion. He beat a lot of the top stars at Double or Nothing 2020 to build up to a match with Jon Moxley in the summer of 2020. It was a big deal. And Brian Cage was one of the top heels in the company when the FTW title came in. Brian Cage still a great star. Great to have him here tonight. The title's been passed through a number of different wrestlers, and it's on one of our top stars in Hook. But the title was never meant to be a joke or anything. And I know Taz and myself or nobody in AEW ever intended that.
Oh, of course. I
Sure.
didn't mean it in that way. What I was suggesting is it now officially a proper AEW?
And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.